Hey there, folks, it's Delaware Dean. No problem. Hey there, folks, this is Freddie. Barbara, Delaware Dean. No problem. Hey there, folks, this is Hey there, folks, it's Delaware Dean. No problem. This is Freddie. Hey there, folks, it's no problem. Hey there, folks, it's Delaware Dean. On that. Hey there, folks, this is Freddie. Barbara, Delaware Dean. On that. Hey there, folks, this is Dean. No problem.
Alright, so Delaware Dan here. Welcome back to another edition of Delaware Dan. I wanted to clear a couple things up. There's a couple people on the online forum saying that, maybe I was a little too rough in this upcoming interview. I was picking on this kid too much. They said, Delaware Dan, you're a grown man. Why are you picking on children and shit? I'm not. I put him in the hot seat because I needed some quality content for the Delaware Dan podcast. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I put him in a hot seat, and so anyways, I want to clear a couple things up with this apology. I'm sorry that you thought that I was being too rough with a kid, and that you were offended by something that had nothing to do with you, and I'm sorry about that. So that's Delaware Dan's apology. So I'm gonna roll a clip right now, and we're gonna finally hear how rough I'm actually
being. Brooklyn and Queens and stuff, and I go up on the roof and I look for Spider-Man. A lot of people, they actually know me because I took a lot of pictures of Spider-Man. I'm selling them to the Daily Bugle eventually one day. They let me up. I knock on every door in the city sometimes and try to ask if I could go up on the roof to check out, see if Spider-Man's up there.
So here's my question.
I've seen him a couple of times. And I saw him with the Green Goblin over there in the Brooklyn Bridge one time.
Damn.
Over there up over there near Barclays Center. I was up on a roof over there. I saw Spider-Man and Green Goblin.
That's pretty wild. That's pretty rare. I mean, so my question is, how many other people saw this? Because
it was just me. I was the only one who saw it. But I took pictures.
So, how do listeners know that you're not Spider-Man? Because I have a little bit of.
I ain't Spider-Man, just a little kid. I don't do nothing. I'm just a
Spider-Man could have been a little kid that got bit by a spider and he's flying up there because you're the only one seeing it.
That wasn't me. That was somebody else. I don't know what they're talking about.
You're gonna have to get a picture. I want to see you and Spider-Man in the same photograph, and then this will ease kind of and also, I'm not trying to blow your cover here. If you are Spider-Man and you want to keep this going, then that's cool. It's no problem for Delaware Dan. But if you saw Spider-Man, I believe he's out there. But also, I think you're Spider-Man, and I'll just come out and say it. Not to be coming on too heavy with that, but there's a couple people on the threads that are saying, how come, if he sees Spider-Man, then he might be Spider-Man. I don't know. Maybe we're all Spider-Man. Maybe I'm Spider-Man. I'm doing this to cover up the fact that I'm Spider. I'm not Spider. All right, so we don't need to keep going into that. So, anyways, I don't think I was being that rough with a kid. He's a good kid. He's out there doing, pulling up his bootstraps and selling pictures, Daily Bugles, and all that. But it is mysterious that he's still the only one that's seen him. He does have photos of him. They're pretty undeniable. I've seen the photos. They released the documents on the forum. You can go to the forum and check it out. It's online. Just go on Google, type in Spider-Man photos, and you'll see he's got all these really, really high quality pictures of Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm doing it right now. You type in Spider-Man on Bing Bing and type in image or click image. He's got some pretty good pictures. Okay, now this is interesting. Here's a picture of Spider-Man with no mask on. And now I was talking to the kid on the phone, so I don't know what his face looked like, but I think this was him. So I don't think I was being that rough. I think I was being asked some very fair questions. It's my duty as an American to, be kind of putting the pressure on our youth and overburdening them. So, anyways, welcome back to another edition of Delaware Dan. On today's episode of Delaware Dan, featuring interviews with many people. Does your family suffer from nonsensically inclined Cohen poems being used to reverse the tendency of capitalism's degrading effect on the human psyche? Then no problem. Call Delaware Dan at 302-69-6420-9 at 302-4... Call Delaware Dan on the phone and pick up the phone. Call Delaware Dan. So get off your butt, pull up your bootstraps, and put the phone in your to your ear and get up your boots and get them and call Delaware Dan, because it's time we took a stand on what's right. Delaware Dan.
Walking in sandals every day makes me feel so good. I lit a candle whenever I could. Why don't you show me your love? Why don't you show me your love? I deserve it more than enough. Why don't you show me your love? Into the parking lot we go. Straight as an arrow, bent as a stem. Roots in the ground represent. Into the parking lot we go. Don't make me one of them.
Alright, that was pretty good. Alright, so that was, coming up, we got interview with the person singing on that song. That was Lily Konigsberg. She's pretty cool. She got tons of songs out. We know her from a lot of different things. Palberta. She's in the band Eyes of Love sometimes. Sometimes she's playing in she's doing songs with Cradle. Paco Cathcart is the Cradle. So we also got, she does a lot of songs. She's from the hit musical act Lily Konigsberg, which is just her name. She goes by the same name for doing songs, and they're really good. They're pretty good. That one was a little bit of shameless self-promotion, because it was, the musical track was Plague 64 and the Hexagrams with Lily Konigsberg singing over top of it, because that song was honestly trash until she blessed it with her vocals. So we're going to ask her a couple questions about, a little bit about stuff that she does, and maybe stuff she doesn't do. I don't know yet. We haven't done the interview yet. We're about to do it pretty soon here, so I'm just burning up time. Okay. So, all right, we're here in studio, and we're doing 3 stogies, hoagies, and pierogies. Now, fortunately, I didn't have time to stop at a Wawa to get any hoagies. It's not even Hoagie Fest, so they don't even got no good deals on them. So. But basically what we're doing is I'm going to do a live review. This might be edited for content, but it's going to be a live review of 3 stogies premium coffee. I just brewed a cup. Actually, I brewed 4 cups. I'm 2 down, so I got 2 cups left, and I'm going to let you know what I think of it on the first sip. But before we do that, I got to make sure that this is also going to be a segment called Sipping on a Sippable with Sips McGee.
And now for our segment, Sipping on a Sippable by Sips McGee.
So we're here in Florida. We're here and we're drinking 3 Stogies coffee. This is Sips McGee. It's Delaware Dan as Sips McGee, starring Delaware Dan as Sips McGee, doing 3 hoagies, 3 Stogies, hoagies, and pierogies. I went down. I'm drinking. I'm drinking this coffee by Tim High Dripper, Mug Loosenhop, and Vic Berger the Fourth. And this is pretty good. I'm going in for another sip. Oh my god. It's a little late in the day for me to be drinking coffee, so I'm gonna be wired for sure. I'm not gonna be able to go to sleep now, but so far it's making my lips kind of numb. It has a smoky afterbirth. It kind of reminds me of like when you're ripping the bong and you're coming up. You know what I'm talking about. So let's go for another sip, see what happens. Does you and your family suffer from a distinct lack of crystal gem healing sessions that fail to end in illegal beef brothel visitations late night on Mill Creek Road in Pike Creek during DIY DUI racing season? Then no problem. Call Delaware Dan at 302-696-420, 42069 at delawaredan.com. Call now for your free gem healing session at the illegal beef brothel in Pike Creek on Mill Creek Road in Pike Creek up there in Newcastle County. No problem. Call Delaware Dan. Went down the wrong pipe the first time. I think I got it right that time though. It's pretty good. It's kind of reminding me of when you're in you're in a gas station and you gotta use the bathroom, and there's a dude took a dump and you don't want to go in there. I'm not saying the coffee tastes like that. This is a positive review. I like this coffee. It's good. I just for some reason thinking about this one time I was in a gas station and the dude went number 2 and it smelled so bad that I wanted to fucking kill myself, but I didn't. So I was waiting outside. I was somewhere in the panhandle of Florida. I don't know why I was there. I was talking to this dude out front, and he was being super nice. And then the person in the bathroom, he's a slightly bigger dude, a little obese, but no disrespect. Matter of fact, me and the dude outside were talking about being respectful and nice, and just how happy he was about something. And I was like, that's great. And so the dude left the bathroom, and he flushed, but it was otherworldly, I'll tell you that. So this coffee kind of reminds me of just that whole trip in general was a good trip. It was ultimately a good trip. It did not have its, pitfalls and whatnot, but we got through it. Going in for another sip. It's got a smoky blend. It's no wonder it's called Tim's Smoky Blend, because it's got a little bit of that to it. Check out officeHoursLive.com, or I don't know if it's .com. Just type it in. Go on their Patreon, and sometimes I go in there. I'm goofing off. I'm saying hey to the guys, joshing around with the dudes, non-gender specific dudes, people in general. And we like to talk about a lot of different things. So go ahead and check that out. Don't go for my sake, though. Go for your own. And also check out Old Table. Coming up next. Wait, before we go into that, let me go back. Let me read to you the... Alright, so it says 3 Stogies Premium Coffee Tim's Smoky Blend. 100% fair trade Arabica roasted coffee beans, net weight 12 ounces. Which is, if you're doing the math... which the bag's doing the math for you, but it's 340 grams. On the back it says, wake up with the Holy Trinity. Tim Hydripper, Mug Loosenhop, Vic Berger the Porf. Does your family suffer from a criminal lack of 3 stogies coffee in your kitchen cupboard while you and your family eat hoagies and pierogies while dogfighters hauled off bogeys in the Michael Bay film that was canceled by Uncle Incel for not being white enough? No problem. Call Delaware Dan. 302-420-6969 extension 666. Call Delaware Dan. T-shirts still available. We got a small and a 2XL left, so $30 each. Call Delaware Dan. No problem. Call now. Cup is important to us. That's why we specifically roast each bean individually for the perfect temperature to release into your mouth and down your throat the most arousing rich flavors and aromas. 3 Stogies Premium Coffee. Brought to you by Office Hours. Oh, officialofficehours.com. That's the website I meant to say. So check it out. Buy yourself a bag. It's only $20. When's the last time you paid $20 for a pretty good cup of coffee, you know? So it makes more than 1 cup of coffee, obviously, and the beans are individually roasted, as they said on the back, which is honestly feels like a little counterintuitive to how you would probably actually roast coffee. But I'm not here to make no judgments, other than if I like this coffee or not, and I do. It's pretty fucking good. It will potentially activate my bowels, but that's all right. That's just a fact of Mother Nature, and if Mother Nature were to take a sip of this coffee right now, it would activate her bowels and she would flush away the sins of the planet. So, that being said, check it out. Okay. This has been Sips McGee. Delaware Dan is Sips McGee. Sipping on a sippable with Sips McGee. So, okay. All right. So, right. Delaware Dan here talking Lily Konigsberg. Am I saying that right? Konigsberg?
Yeah.
I was calling you Konigsberg.
My whole family says Konigsberg, but I say Konigsberg. So I'm wrong, but I like it better.
It sounds a little better. I will admit that the Delaware accent, it's just the inclination is to go Konigsberg, because, phone,
well, you should probably quit it. You should probably just quit saying it that way.
Well, I'm going to say it the way you say it, added not just respect, but added just because I'm concerned that I'm getting it wrong. I can't. Delaware Dan is frequently wrong, but will not be wrong on this. So we're taking a stand on.
I'm the first Konigsberg of the Konigsberg. I'm starting a new tribe.
There you go. Doing things. So you do music, which is cool. That's kind of the theme of this episode. We're talking to other musicians, doing music on them and stuff like that. And we know you a lot of projects from doing going on Palberta. You were in the Eyes of Love, Climax. No, you were not in Climax Landers, correct? I'm probably getting.
Actually, no, I wasn't. Yeah.
No, that was on.
That was on. That was a meeting.
So another member of Palberta in that. So I got that wrong. Delaware Dan, strike 2. And then.
Well, people used to confuse a lot. Being honest, because we used to look really identical, and then we just kind of shifted. I don't know what happened. We used to look twins. We used to be asked if we were twins.
Oh, really?
All the time. All the time.
Damn.
Yeah, Delaware Dan.
Well, that's pretty crazy. Because you guys don't look nothing alike. But maybe
there was a time, but now we don't.
Well, how about that? And then we know we know you also doing songs Paco Cathcart, The Cradle. Got a lot of vocals going on in that. It's pretty good. It's all really good.
I just recorded vocals yesterday with Sam for the first time in a long time.
That's pretty cool.
Excuse me, that was actually a hiccup. I hiccuped really weird. It was great. His apartment wasn't as hot as mine. We talked about serious things. We made jokes. He let me edit his lyrics on here, which has never happened before.
Oh, whoa. How about that?
Because I got better at lyrics during quarantine. I got really good at lyrics. I think I'm better than that at doing up in melodies. It's exciting. I beat my melodies.
Well, you guys make a classic team there, and we're all big fans here at the Delaware Dan Temple of Marketing, and it's pretty good. Definitely a lot of good harmonies, a lot of good parts, and some of these recordings wouldn't really be complete without the singing. And you are part of musical act Lily Konigsberg, which coincidentally is the same as your name. Do you have anything to comment on that?
It was an accident.
Okay.
I didn't mean to. My manager, Cheryl Apprentice, did it by accident. Went up on one poster. Now people know me as my name. It's a nightmare.
That's pretty wild. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that go by their name. Seal.
Like Cher.
Cher, I was about to say that.
Like the Rolling Stone.
Prince. Rolling Stone. Stone.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I think that's it.
So there's, but
There's a lot.
so we've noticed, we do a lot of market research, focus groups, kind of focal points, talking issues and stuff, and through all that, we realized that you haven't made a single bad song yet. So how does that happen? I mean, what would it take to get you to make one bad song?
Let me put it this way. I'll answer the first question. I am bad at almost everything else. So I had to get at something. And what it would take for me to write a bad song would be to be paid a ton of money.
Well, there you go.
Just so much that it would fill a pool and I could just swim in it. I wouldn't even spend it. I would just use it for my swimming time. But, I don't know. I have a game called the Lily's Dumb Game, and it's not self-deprecating. I find it funny because I'm creatively smart and academically really dumb. So I have my friends ask me things I should know about science, history, math, philosophy, geography, and I never get it right. And then when I get it wrong, I look out the window wistfully, and it really entertains the crowd.
Everyone's just kind of applauding and being like, she got it wrong.
They're like, you're so fucking dumb, dude. I love it. And then I play a song, and then I'm like, you're so dumb, but that was a good song.
Oh, well, there you go. Well,
then I'm also good at massaging. That's the only other thing I'm good at.
That's a good skill to have, because there's a lot of nots and have-nots in this world, and they all need to get.
Actually, wait! Don't tell anyone that, because then more people will know. Because I get hit up, they're like, "Oh, rub my back with my foot." No.
Yeah, no. We're only going for you if either someone comes with a proposal with like $6 million to write a bad song in singles, so that you can fill a swimming pool and a half with it, and you go swimming, or you want to hear a good song and she's doing that, but you better pay for that too. So hopefully that'd be the only kind of thing people are coming at you. No one go out there saying, "Give me the massage," because that's just ridiculous. You massage your own damn foot.
I still don't know if I could write a bad song. Because even my joke songs are good. They get stuck in my head and other people's heads. Like I have one about bunions. Did I ever sing one about bunions?
I don't think I heard that one. No. You want to do a little
I don't usually
acapella?
It's pretty quick. Yeah, it is acapella. I've never even used the instrument with it. I had a bunion on my foot today. I brought it to the doctor and he said, okay. And Hugo and I wrote that together. Hugo Stanley. I'm going to credit him as well. But, it never fails to amuse people. It's short, sweet, and it's very bad. But it's so good. It's so bad it's good,
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I mean, to make it short and sweet is actually, I think, a big challenge, especially here at Delaware Dan Temple Marketing. We try to do jingles to make things marketable through sound, and it becomes this sort of quasi spiritual experience, but mostly bringing people back to the 0 point and kind of undoes a lot of marketing things. So it's pretty good. Something like a bunion, fairly unmarketable, but you sold me on the idea of the song, so that's pretty good.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not advertising to get a bunion. I'm saying the doctor is going to say, okay, when you go to the doctor about the bunion, So basically nothing's happening.
Okay, well, there you
Doctor's
go.
not going to help you. Doctor's just going to be like, okay. So,
Well, that doctor's losing business, and he needs to figure out. Maybe he needs to reach out to Delaware Dan and get him some other jingles. But the Bunyan,
yeah, I'll get you in touch with him. I don't know his name, but it'll be easy.
his name's Dr. Bunyan, the Funyun.
Dr. Bunyan. Oh, I remember now.
Bunyan,
Dr.
PhD.
Oh, yeah, he's dead. It's not going to work out. But you know, my dad, one of his best friends, Al Arioli. I haven't seen this guy in so long. He was a professional jingle singer and writer.
Oh, how about that?
When those were real things that people did on the radio, or there's more of it on the radio. And he has the perfect voice, so beautiful of a voice.
That's
Shout
awesome.
out to that guy.
Shout out to the original jingle master, jingling them on the radio. So they'd do it live. I think I was not around for that, but they would go on and be like, "Get this thing," and it tastes good too. I think I seen them.
Yeah.
If
If it tastes good, it is good. Hallmark. Yeah.
Right. You got to end with the name of the business.
Because it's six. It's a period at the end of the sentence.
We may or may not believe in human rights, USA. That one.
Those aliens here coming closer every day. That's it.
So you did you released recently. I saw you did a greatest hits type thing, and that's
It's a joke.
it's
'cause
pretty good.
Obviously, I haven't written my greatest hit.
Well,
But
see, some would argue that they're all greatest hits. And I'm not. It's not just pointless flattery there. That's a scientifically viable. I mean, we got the notes here and everything. I can pull up the documents, but I'm not going to do it right now because I'm lazy. But these are scientifical facts that we know for sure.
yeah, yes, but I think I have yet to write my best song.
Okay, all right. See, there's more
I
to
was
come.
about to say the best song, and that's a little too much for me to say, because it's not true. There's really great songwriters out there. Like, what do you think the best song is?
Your best song or just the best song?
No,
in
my
general?
best song. The best song.
All right, the best song. That's a good question. Put me in the hot seat here. Several of the Delaware Dan marketing backing tracks, I think they're up there. But outside of that, realistically speaking, the best song ever written, a lot of people want to argue it's Don McLean. I think it's actually the Weird Al version of the Don McLean song, and I forget what it's called.
A lot of people agree with you.
Yeah, I think, and even Don McLean allegedly is like, this better than my own song, Weird Al Yankovic. And I think maybe White and Nerdy. Nah, that one's not that good. It's not better than the original, but it's pretty good. But I think maybe there's a polka song about Eddie Vedder that's up there. I wish I had really thought about this. I often think.
I'm sorry, you're the interviewer at the band, but I've thought about this a lot. So I should have interviewed you, because I find that the best song that I've ever heard are one-hit wonders. Like, There She Goes.
There She Goes.
Kiss Me.
Wait, what was the last one? Sorry.
Kiss Me.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
And I was like, don't be my vacation far away. That is a one-hit wonder as well.
There you go.
Stacey's Mom. Not as much a one-hit wonder, but everyone knows that song, and not as many people know the other songs that Bounce Away did.
Right, they're not digging into the catalog. They're not even listening to the album. They're just saying that one song is on now, volume 420, and we're moving on from that. That's what most people think.
Exactly. People, it's not no one that listens to albums anymore, and they shouldn't, because all of the one-hit wonders, other songs are actually really bad that I've heard. So I've been like, oh, that was a great song. Maybe it's the other one that did. No. I don't know how that happened.
Like my cousin one time in Philadelphia, he was listening to Whitesnake, and he felt like he had been ripped off because he had to listen to the whole album to get to the part where he's saying
It's a waste of time.
it is wasting his time. He's like, I don't got time for this shit. So I'm putting on the radio, listening to advertisements instead. So that's how. Does your family suffer from too many tradwives canceling cancel culture in a vacuum of echoing reverberations that mirror the parallel dimensions of ideologies being bought and sold by insecure white males whose unchecked inferiority complexes have created new marketing campaigns aimed at not exposing themselves to their previously aforementioned tradwives, a whole slew of coleslaw slinging premature ejaculatory race war syntax embedded in bumper sticker codes that signified the end of all rhyme, reason, and rhythm? Then no problem, call Delaware Dan at 302 420 69 extension Illegal Crimes Department. If you have an illegal crime to report to Delaware Dan, call Delaware Dan at 302 69 69. Sorry, 302 420 6969. 6 Delaware Dan. Oh, extension 69. Call now. They do. I don't know, but
I love, it's so fun to listen to car insurance ones and the ones about car washes and car accessories and
any kind of car, used cars, new cars, combination new and used cars, all kinds of stuff.
O'Reilly.
Yeah, that was great. Get in the zone, auto zone. Yeah, that's a classic. One hit wonder. What do you think the best radio jingle is? That's a tough.
I think I really like that one.
It was pretty good.
Oh.
It's got kind of a ecstatic build up into the title of the business, and it's like smacks.
I'm astounded by McDonald's theme song because McDonald's is, how do I say that? The McDonald's theme song, because it's just I'm loving it. It's really not that good.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a little anemic.
It's sick though.
Yeah. Didn't they have a song? They had a version of it that was like, McDonald's is gonna get you, 'cause McDonald's treats you right. Bang, bang. I'm probably getting that wrong, but it's something like that. McDonald's. I think.
You're probably right.
I don't know. I don't know about that, but there's plenty of things out there. A lot of different advertisement jingles, and if someone approached you to write a jingle, well, how would you respond to that? Aside from how much?
It depends on the company. I would troll them if it was a really bad company and write a really good song with a hidden message in it and get paid, and then donate it money.
Hell yeah.
Like a little bit for rent. And if it was a good company, which this is basically this, I would be very excited. Either way, I'd be excited. That's the plan for both.
Some creative problem solving going on there.
I don't, but the thing is, I would need some kind of code person, a coder, because I don't think that's something I consider like a hidden message, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I could do that.
Right, you'd have to kind of come up with a series of words that, like, through double reverse psychology, would like make the listener realize that, it would be the opposite of what you were saying. Yeah, that's pretty good.
If you play it backwards on your record player, everyone has a record player in their home these days.
Especially these days.
Donald Trump has 9/11. Oh no.
Donald Trump is 9/11.
Donald Trump is synonymous with 9/11. And that would be for Outback Steakhouse.
Right. Outback Steak. I'm not doing it. But no rules.
The guy from Montreal I used one of his songs and everyone got real mad. I went on tour with him. I was about to say,
you went on tour with the Outback Steakhouse band.
I can't remember his name right now.
All right, what was on the green room rider? Was there Outback Steakhouse on the rider?
Yeah, usually he wanted them stacked up. What's his name? He wanted them stacked up, like 26 stacked up with a giant chopstick through them. And then he would make everyone in his band just like eat it like a shish kebab. That was kind of a weird thing about him, for sure. I think that's what's horrible. What's his name? Dan?
Oh my God. Hold on, I'll look this up real quick. me get my.
I know it. If he's never going to listen to this because he's not in touch with the real cool stuff going on, probably. But if he did, he'd be upset because he wanted to be my friend.
You know, I heard that if you just go on Twitter and you at these dudes, they'll fucking see it. So I don't use Twitter.
Yeah.
I have Twitter hooked up to my flip phone, so when I'm at work, I used to do cigarette breaks. I don't smoke no more, but I would go out and I would write.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you, Ben.
Good. I started smoking again.
I actively tried smoking again, and I
Just
couldn't
kidding,
do it.
Dad.
Just kidding. Not smoking. No one's smoking on here. Don't condone no smoking. It's funny. I'm doing this advertisement. Speaking of doing advertisements, I'm doing advertisement for this Three Stogies coffee, and I was like, they say it has a smoky taste, but I don't remember the taste of smoking, and I don't want to necessarily go down. I don't need no stogies. But down here, you got a lot of these dudes driving around doing stogies in their fucking historic, can only drive on a Sunday vehicles, and they look ridiculous.
Yeah.
These dudes look crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm doing OK Montreal. No, of Montreal.
Okay, Montreal.
No relation to OK
Montreal.
Natural.
What?
No relation to OK Naturals. The store.
No. Okay, Montreal.
Kevin.
As people go to Montreal and they're like, it was okay.
Yeah, it was
It
alright.
wasn't France. It wasn't France today.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was. They spoke
Wait,
French.
before you say the name, let me just actually set try to use my brain. It's just so hot. My brain's so hot. No, it's really hot.
What is the
I know
temperature? 90 plus.
Ian, no. Yeah, it's 94 right now, and I live in an attic. So
Live
for
in an
anyone who
attic.
thinks I'm rich because I have Spotify commercials that I didn't ask for, just no. Not true. Oh my gosh. Nope, it's like there's a brick in my brain instead of a brain.
Is he a white guy? No offense, but is he white? Because I'm gonna say.
Is he white?
Yeah, because we could just go down a list of white dude names, and maybe we'll get one.
Yeah, he's quite white.
All right, so A, Alan. B, Brad. C, Chetley. D, David. E,
Nope,
Edwin.
this is all wrong. Yeah, I know and Edwin, that's the Mexican man.
Yeah, how's he doing? We donated some money from the Temple of Marketing.
I raised $2,000.
Oh, there you go. That's cool. So just for the audience.
The most I've ever fundraised before. I think it was because I was trying to figure out why. Like, why this and not something else. I think it was that there was like a connection between two people that are not expected to become friends, Yeah. I think that's why. That's all I can really say.
It's also, I think people are more likely to do it. I'm not saying it's like a good or bad thing. It's something that I've noticed in this too, in my own behavior with it. When something is like reposted, it's harder to. It's like it all is legit, and you trust the person reposting it, the request for mutual aid. But then when you see like just like the direct message, it's easier to be like, I don't know. Maybe that's something that it's like a pattern that needs to get rewritten, because I think people need to just in general be more giving. In general,
Yeah, I haven't been giving lately because I don't have any money.
Well, if you don't got money to give, you can't give it. It's the bottom line.
But I have a slight platform, so I'm using that as money.
You got the megaphone, yeah, and that's like
money can be anything if you just use it the right way.
That's true.
But yeah, so Edwin's gonna be able to get out of the place he lives, which is a god awful place. For everyone there, I wish I could do the same for every single person there, and move into an apartment and have first and last month's rent and 2 months of rent. And I got him tacos yesterday.
Hell yeah, there you go.
He still wants to marry me, though. That's the one thing that we can't really agree on.
Oh, yeah.
Respectfully, though. He wants to marry me respectfully. I remember Kevin Barnes.
There you go. I looked it up. I didn't want to say that. So Kevin Barnes, if you're listening, check out Old Table and also donate money to mutual aid somebody at Outback's, donate some Outback steaks to some dudes that are Outback that need it. You know, non-gender specific dudes.
People out back, on outside in the back of the house.
You're in the alleyway behind the Outback Steakhouse, so they definitely could use some steaks. I mean, they're going through the trash anyways. You might as well give them something fresh. You know, we're not coming down on you. We're not attacking you. We're just saying, you know, and anyone else listening, look up what the land you're on is and find out who you're going to donate this money to, because I know you got $20 and, you know, try to do it as much as you can. So that's the only request. And then, you know, Delaware Dan is fake. First off, there is a real Delaware Dan out there. There's a couple Delaware Dans, but for sure there's definitely I just found out recently there's a guy going on Super Smash Brothers. You heard of this game? Super Smash Brothers?
Yeah.
And they go and they play him online, and there's a guy on there, and he's calling himself Delaware Dan, and this kind of reminds me of that scene in Spartacus. It's pretty crazy, and so it reminds me of Spartacus, where everyone's like, I'm Delaware Dan, I'm Delaware Dan, I'm Spartacus, so it's kind of like that. Reminds me of that. So we're saying go out there.
Whoever owns the game the most, doesn't matter the age or anything. Whoever owns the name most is the one.
Kind of king of the hill type situation. That's what I'm saying. So that's why Delaware Dan legal initiative, street legal team, Prayer Force One, hugely successful T-shirt campaign.
Oh shit.
So yeah, we're gonna keep going them. You got any plans? You've been doing stuff with palberta recently?
What's that?
You've been doing stuff with palberta recently?
What is that? Who is that?
Palberta is someone. They're a couple people that when they join together in a megazord.
Those cool ass ladies that I know about this.
You know who they are? You know palberta?
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
I got amnesia for 1 second. Yeah, they did a tiny test.
Oh yeah.
In Nina's basement, and they also did a live show that wasn't actually live, but it was at a venue, and they were getting offered shows, but I don't know what's up with that because I'm very busy. I have a project coming out that I can't talk about.
Nice. All right.
But it is with Nate from Water From Your Eyes.
We were just listening to him this morning.
What?
We were listening to that song about the dog. He's got some dog on the roof or something like that. And I was like, dude, that's so bonkers. It's so cool.
Dog on the roof?
It's like about a dog. He's like talking into the mic about a dog.
Oh, yeah. He makes too much music. We became best friends over the pandemic.
That's
that
awesome.
guy he makes too much music. He does. It's too much.
Well, he's about to make some more from the sound. That's exciting. That's pretty cool. I mean, we don't know if it's music. We're not going to go out there saying that you're making music with him. Even though you may have just said that, I don't remember.
We've been making sculptures together. Giant sculptures.
Paper mache, 10-story paper mache sculptures, probably.
No, I can say that we've been writing music together since August 19th, and we never stopped. Well, now we stop sometimes to take breaks, but we have like 50 songs. Hey, I bet you, twins. And I will tell you the project's called My Idea.
It's called My Idea, or it is your idea?
I know it's going to be very confusing. Every time I try to explain, the project's called My Idea.
That's pretty good.
It would take a really long time. First we were called the Grammys but then people working with kept saying the Grammys are going to sue you, which would be very petty of them. Because we were talking about our grandmothers.
Hey.
But I lost that battle, and then it became My Idea.
There you go. All right, that's pretty cool. Those are exciting things on the horizon. Grandmothers can still celebrate. What if you spelled it? Would it be something you spell it differently? I know it's too late.
Yeah, Nate didn't like it different. He was like, "It's that," or he changed it. He had a very strong opinion. So I was like, "All right." My argument about how people do spell grandma, dear Grammy, thanks to the thing I don't like that you sent me in the mail. They spell it just like that. The argument is valid. So I just gave up because I get really bored of conversations like that. So I gave up and I was like, okay, let's change it.
That's pretty cool. I'm about to bore you even more. How did the name Palberta come up? You don't have to answer that question if you
I
don't.
know. I actually know.
Okay.
I'm the only one that remembers. I was probably 19. So Nina was actually 20, and we were at my house in Brooklyn, my parents' house. They don't even live there anymore, so it's very circle. And we were kind of doing a round table of band names, just spitting band names. And we were like, what's their mom's name, what's their dad's name? My friend Rosie, so I haven't seen her in like 5 years, but she's probably really chill, so came in and she was like, my dad's name is Albert. And so our first show we played, our first show ever, we played the Southern Club at Silent Barn. We were called Albert because we wanted to feminize Albert. And then then we were just like, well, we're becoming pretty good friends. Let's be turning into a pun. And that's how Pete got our name.
There you go. Now you got My Palberta. Great album.
Yeah, that was the best. Well, yeah, I think probably the 5000 is the second. No, the first and last album so far are my favorites.
Well, you're both really good. There's a couple good ones in there. That's split with New England Patriots, not to be confused with New England Patriots.
Not what's it called.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I forget what's on that. But I bet it's good. I don't remember.
It's got the hot crossed buns on them. Susan. I remember I asked
Susan, yeah.
Susan, I tried asking you to play Susan once. And
we don't know how.
No one knows how to play the song. I was like, that's pretty cool. I didn't do it. Some dude named Alex did it, but it was pretty good. I was there for that.
Did we play it?
No.
We don't know how to play it. I mean, I assure you that we don't know how to play it now. Maybe that was a while ago. Because that was the first one that I wrote some of. Like, I wrote the melody, I think, at the beginning at least. And I think I played bass. Yeah, like, it gets harder when you're in a band where you switch, because we actually forget what instrument we played on the song.
Right.
It's a big puzzle. We even forgot some of the songs on our album that just came out. And it's just constant confusion.
So you
recently,
mm-hmm.
What'd you say?
No, you go. Sorry.
Well, recently, I was trying to explain to Nate, because when I meet new friends and I start getting out a lot, I inevitably have to try to explain the palberta dynamic before they actually witness it. And I tried, and he was like, it went beyond my expectations. Because the first time he hung out with us, within an hour of Nina getting to New York City, Ani tore her ACL, MCL, and LCL. She's recovering. And Nina tried to dye my hair blue, but put an entire bottle of it in my hair. And I got in the shower to wash it out, and I was covered in blue like the Blue Man Group, and there was a handprint on the wall of the bathroom. I was struggling. And Ani didn't know that at this point that she was getting me to get surgery. So that all happened in like an hour. And
God.
Nate was like, I see now. Oh.
It makes sense.
That's us.
Well, how about that?
How about it, indeed? I don't know.
It makes for really good listening. It's funny.
Yeah. Well, we all have so many injuries from it. I got really hurt doing a split on tour with Palberta the first day out.
Oh no.
I did a split and I tore my hamstring, but I still did the whole tour.
Oh shit.
This was a while ago, 2016. I was limping the entire tour. I was 2 blocks behind him. Then I got a weird rash one time. It's weird stuff happens.
Well, it's a full-time battle being in the band, especially as prolific as Palberta seems. I hope you guys are in good health.
Battle, apparently.
Is Ani okay? Is she doing all right with that?
She's doing a lot better.
That's good.
This happened like 2 months ago.
Okay.
But no, she got the surgery at the beginning of May. She's still limping, but she looks great while doing it. And she's going to be fine. She just needs to, she's being very strict about her regimen.
That's pretty good. I played a couple shows with her. Delaware Dan and Ani did 2 shows back to back, and they were definitely... I didn't understand how she didn't injure herself then. So I'm glad she didn't, and I'm glad she's better now.
She does get whiplash a lot. Because of the head thing she does. Yeah,
the head thing.
She gets whiplash. Yeah.
Definitely noticed that.
It makes me really upset. I'm like, just stop doing it so hard, and then you wouldn't be getting whiplash all the time.
I assume
because we're essentially family now. We're not really sisters.
You're not actually twins? Is that what you just said?
Well, not really. I mean, we are, but more like sisters that are friends, you know?
There you go.
Sisters that get along.
Yeah. You get along, you get in the car, you go there. And I always assumed she was doing stretches so she could whiplash well. I always kind of assumed.
Yeah, was she doing that?
No, I just assumed that she was secretly doing it in the bathroom or something.
No. She actually had an aversion to stretches and would roll her eyes, and I was like, stretching feels really good for a really long time. And now she's finally like talking about stretching a lot. And I'm like, dude, I called this long ago. Why didn't you stretch? And, you know, everyone comes to, she said, everyone comes to things on their own time. I'm like, not stretching.
Yeah. Does your family suffer from jumper cables that were designed to infiltrate local cells of wild hogs impersonators that led to the dads on vacation to drop the kids off at the hospital so they could explode on deck at the boat parade, where several members of the litigation team responsible for defending the Constitution instead changed their minds and now defund all systemic structures that oppose nature and humanity at large? No problem. Call Delaware Dan. It's not a real problem, so don't... You know, there's probably a good thing there. We should fucking get rid of all this shit that... you know, creates more division between us, because that's some bullshit. Delaware Dan, call now. No problem, call now.
It's you, holding my spine while I sit.
Alright, so we got a big reveal coming up. We got here, Delaware Dan Marketing Jingles Volume 1, which was so overwhelmingly successful of a release that, you know, we went ahead, we made Delaware Dan Marketing Jingles Volume 2. You can order that from alexhoman.bandcamp. It's Homan. alexhoman.bandcamp.com. You go order Jingles Volume 2. Volume 1 completely sold out. So this is going to be your only opportunity to listen to an excerpt of the Jingles Volume 1. And you can hear them on some of the paid advertisements for the commercial here, which, and what I mean by paid advertisements by Delaware Dan, those get recycled back into the Delaware Dan Temple of Marketing when we pay ourselves with the virtues accumulated in the 3 times. It gets recycled. So what I mean by that is when we play our ads, those ads are bought and paid for by Delaware Dan Legal Corporation and limited liability. So we're not liable for what's actually said in those. But that's a different issue. That's just to protect our butts and stuff in case someone will just go out there and be like, "I'm actually Delaware Dan," and be like, "Oh yeah, prove it," because we got the copyrights. So which is not a false claim. And I'm not at all giving any sort of legal advice or anything resembling legal advice. This is legal advice given to me by my cousin. But anyways, basically, what you're about to hear is the original Marketing Jingles Volume 1. Came out on KSP tapes, and it's the second release on that one. And you can listen to it. And also make sure to unlock the secrets of Delaware Dan's Temple of Marketing by visiting Delaware Dan online. So go online and visit Delaware Dan, which you're probably doing right now. If you're listening to this, the internet is somehow involved in it. So, you've already done that. Congratulations. You can check that off the list. So this is the only place you can hear Marketing Jingles Volume 1. We're going to do an excerpt, and then we have a couple customer testimonials. Customer testimonies into, what they think of the product and, how easy it was to order it. And, so this is now officially the only place that you're going to hear this. So check this out. It's pretty fucking good. I think so. I think it's good. I mean, I'm clearly biased. It's my company. I own the business. So I can do whatever the fuck I want. And, I'm building it on the backs of you fuckers. So, here we go. Delaware Dan. Thank you for your service. I want to remind people that these were scientifically designed in the Temple of Marketing, specifically for their ability to market and be advertisements. So each tone you hear is specifically handcrafted and designed to create a certain type of receptivity in the listener for listening to marketing campaigns. Which, if you're standing within a 30-foot radius to Delaware Dan, you're technically in the Delaware tax rebate autonomous zone. So you can incorporate, if you're anywhere I am, Delaware Dan is, where 3 or more gathered in a 30-foot radius to Delaware Dan is the Delaware Dan tax rebates autonomous zone. But as soon as you leave that, it's no longer valid. So you got to stay around me. And this way, I'll never be alone, and you can listen to this type of music to increase your global appeal in the marketing realm. So here we go. Pretty good. I think it's... Alright, here we go. Delaware Dan. And just remember, where three or more are gathered in the Delaware Dan Autonomous Tax Rebate Zone, no problem. There's no problems. really know what that means or what that actually, in a legal sense, entails. But we're going to figure that out through more experimental sort of marketing strategy, focus groups, and other kind of focal points on him. So the rhythms kind of respond to the deeper levels of the cerebral cortex, and they trigger a sort of matrices effect, kind of matrix style effect going on him, where they make you understand what the advertisement's for. Kind of like listening to Cocteau Twins, you finally know what they're saying once you get vaccinated. It's like the main side effect of the vaccine is you can understand Cocteau Twins now. So I'm going to flip the tape over, and that way we skip ahead. It's just short tape. It's for sale. Well, it's not for sale. It's sold out. It was for sale for a long time. But this is the only way you can listen to it. All right, here we go. I promised my boy Jamie Orlando from Tabs Out, I said there'll be a big reveal, and this is it. So, Delaware Dan, Temple of Marketing, handcrafted by our team, our litigation team, street legal team. Prayer Force One has been highly active in the creation of these loops, business loops and stuff like that. You can find that out on the split with Matt Norman. You can also check that out by listening to episode 1. Matt Norman's on episode 1. I'm not going to talk over this whole thing. This is supposed to be just the music, but I got a lot to say about it because I'm very proud of this marketing initiative by Delaware Dan Temple of Marketing. Alright, so this just in, we got our first voicemail from a satisfied customer. We're going to open it up right now and see what they have to say. So, okay, here we go.
This shit, man. I've ordered this product 3 different fucking times. I've ordered it from 3 different women on the fucking phone. They all say, oh, it's not an issue, just turn it off, put it back in. It's not.
Does your family suffer from envelope oscillators, enveloping oscillations that change pitch with the twists of the giddy titty twisting nipple witch synthesis that erased the memory cards on Jetty Lee's bass riff generator that was invented by a dancing banana at the Christiana Mall who was arrested for fornicating in the food court with a discarded apple inside of what used to be the movie theater but is now the room where the Apple Store fires their younger employees for no reason in a web series being produced by Netflix, whereas then a new web series where the previously aforementioned web series is being stolen in a heist performed by Amazon where they also heist away human rights? Then no problem. Call Delaware Dan for this exact problem. Call 302. We got your back at Delaware Dan. Call 302-694-2069. Call Delaware Dan.
I'm fucking working, and I'm tired of this shit. I need a refund. I need to fucking kill someone. I'm tired of this shit. It's all bullshit.
Okay, so, the verdict is in. Some people have started calling back as far as using Delaware Dan marketing strategies, and I think we need to readjust some of the loops. So, that being said, we got this royalty-free, relaxing nature sound that we're now going to do a Delaware Dan meditation. And now, a guided meditation by Delaware Dan. Om, Om, marketing, Om. You are sitting in a creek that is slightly too cold for comfort. You're not wearing any clothes. A small water snake approaches you, and then it morphs into a frog, which then morphs into a toad, which then proceeds to signify that he would like... Does your family suffer from caffeine being the #1 substitute for spiritual release in a serial series from the 1950s being colorized and re-released on Blu-ray, where due to interdimensional time travel and quantum litigation technologies, the Delaware Dana Corporation loses all liability and assumptions of said liability for defecations performed within the drawers of the cores of stores of flourishing flows of Scatman John. Scatting to the new tune entitled Scat Is Where It's At. Then No Problem, called Delaware Dan.
I'd like to give you dome. You decline, respectfully of course, and the toad then transforms into a telemarketer who is ringing in your ear a very simple request. Would you like to fill out a survey? The survey entails the following questions. During your last crystal gem healing session, did it fail or succeed in ending in an illegal beef brothel visitation? Yes or no? Mark 5 for strongly agree, Mark 4 for disagree, and Mark 20 for other. During said gem healing crystal gem healing session, did the illegal beef brothel visitation occur in Pike Creek? Yes or no? Did the same location in Pike Creek also host Poetry Night? This is what the telemarketer is whispering as you are sitting nude.
Alright, so I hope that calmed you down a little bit, and, maybe some people out there, might think, okay, Delaware Dan's products don't work. So, if that's so, here's the same individual at Poetry Night in Pike Creek. This is just after DIY DUI racing season, which is not a funny joke because a lot of people die doing that, and it's not funny, so don't make jokes about that. But, sorry.
Baby girl, my angel, I love you so much. On this day when we are wedded for finally forever, holding our peace, my love, angel, sweeter than menthol. I love you, baby. My angel, baby, menthol lover. I love you. Hold me. I love you. Honey pot, my angel, sweeter bee, honey, I love you. Angel love, I love you, honey bee, pop. You are my love you, angel, baby girl. Menthol. Forever, my love, my heart. What thing to withstand my heart, my love for you, angel, baby girl.
Alright, that's what that feedback was, but it was pretty good. Some poetry there, read live at Poetry. There's a couple things here and there that, need to get fidgeted around and, worked with, so, it's no problem.
We had a week of rehearsal. He's one of the few directors that I've worked with on film who like rehearsal. You don't get rehearsal anymore. You get 2 takes and you move on. That's what life is like being an actor now. I can't really describe the story or the plot. You say I'm no good at that. He said, look, he's a white guy who thinks he's black and he's a pimp. And I said, I'll do it.
A word on fire.
Or, so I'd have little kids coming up to me or parents saying, are you serious, Black? Can he get his picture with you? Look exciting. Pretty good review, I'd say.
Alright, that's Gary Oldman in the flesh. Excuse me, my lips are too big to speak appropriately because of this Botox injection that I've been doing for fun. So, in the flesh, Gary Oldman. I'm glad somebody thinks it's funny. So that's actually him laughing in the studio. Not my studio, somewhere else. So it's pretty good. Yeah, okay.
Hi, I'm Phil Braun, also affectionately known as Mustard, and if you're like me, you've torn off the tops of all your socks in protest. Instead of going around with the tops of your socks torn off, just like the sound man for Big and Rich, go stop by the Office Hours merchandise store online and honor the 45th President of the United States, Dr. Donald Trump, with these wonderful Cephei socks.
Cephei.
Very comfortable and very supportive, and lots of other things in the shop too, like this wonderful t-shirt I have here, which also has me, if you haven't noticed. So stop in and take a look, because it's a slam dunk.
So I'm gonna break down what just happened, and it's pretty good. There's a guy, I don't know who he is, his name's Mustard, I guess, and he's on there. He supports Trump, which, Delaware Dan remains neutral on this issue. I'm just kidding, fuck him. And but he's wearing these socks, and it makes him feel pretty good. So that makes Delaware Dan feel pretty good. So I feel pretty good about that. So ultimately, it's a pretty good thing. And now, so you didn't see it, but he slam dunked. And I gotta say, he looks like an older dude. Maybe he's definitely older than 40, I want to guess. Going out on a limb there. And but he's slam dunking, which if you know anything, then you know that gets harder with age. So kudos to him. We're gonna applaud him in studio. Applaud Philip Braun for doing a slam dunk, and not only that, but slam dunking on him and dunking on him hose.
At the heart of it all, though, is a story about balance, about achieving the right harmony between order and chaos, which is a theme that many fans of classic Final Fantasy games will be familiar with.
In Fantasian, I wanted to really shine the spotlight on this balance between order and chaos, and ultimately I think that keyword balance applies to almost anything in our lives and our universe. You take a look at the world as it is right now, there's just a huge gap between the mega wealthy and the average person, or take religion, take ethnicity. But in between all of that, I don't think anything is as black and white as it may seem, and there's always going to be some kind of balancing act in there. And with Fantasian, I took this idea of order and chaos, and the idea of finding a balance between the two of them, which also comes from my interest in a lot of more the physics. I don't know if but I'm a big fan of kind of metaphysics, space, and outer space, and physics of the universe. And similarly, if there's too much order or too much chaos in our universe, I think that we're either going to expand too much, or it could just reduce everything to zero if you go to one extreme or the other, and the universe will cease to exist. But somehow the universe found this perfect balance between enough order and enough chaos that it's able to sustain this system in which stars and planets and things can exist, which to me is quite mysterious, but also it's very attractive to me. So be it this world of metaphysics or our own reality or our own society and how we've established the way we live, I think there's a juxtaposition to be made between this idea of order and chaos and two extremes, and finding the right balance between the two.
All right, so that was is this single? Okay, that was who
Hironobu Sakaguchi. He's the inventor. He's one of the creators of the video game franchise Final Fantasy. And more on that and other kind of JRPG tendencies within our DIY grassroots kind of own and operate your local supermarket kind of co-op type thinking, and progressive mindsets that transcend all political spectrums, and that pretty much just center human rights and equality, and just people being themselves and stuff is going to be Old Table. Will Maloney from Old Table is coming up next. Will Maloney, Old Table. We're going to check out Old Table finally. I've been saying this for a long time. Check out Old Table. And we're finally going to do it. So go ahead.
Prince Albert. You can put him in a can, send him off to Nam, strap him to a rocket, turn them pigs to ham. Prince Albert. You can push him out to...
I'm talking to Old Table. How's it going, dude?
Going pretty well. Delaware, Dan.
That's pretty cool. So my friend of mine told me check out Old Table, and I was like, I thought he was talking about Craigslist kind of thing. I went on Craigslist. I typed in Old Table. I didn't find anything. It was mostly people trying to sell new tables. I was like, the fuck? Next thing you know, I'm down there in Baltimore in the basement, and there's this 3-piece. It's a drum, guitar, and bass, and they're playing these songs that just like kind of opened my eyes about all kinds of stuff I didn't even think about. Like you got people working in the supermarket, but then they can co-own it too. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I got the idea from Denver. I think it's oldtable.de. It might be oldtable.delaware.
That sounds like Delaware.
Denmark, I'm not sure.
Denmark is kind of the Delaware of Europe when you think about it. Sometimes. Maybe a little more.
They remain neutral, and they're the tax haven. And yeah, so probably.
That sounds pretty accurate. So when did Old Table start? Has it been going? That's been going on a long time for you?
Yeah, 2003.
Damn, how about that?
I did my first tape. I had a band called Motion Picture Cutouts, and they didn't like the old Table name, so I had to put it out by myself, do all the instruments.
How about that?
So that was like a tape. That was a tape back in 2003, November. Damn. I had a show on my first show on my birthday, the first lineup. Duke and Cat Lee. And after that, I didn't play with them ever again.
Well, maybe they're missing out.
Pretty much as Old Table at least, but.
Well, that's pretty cool. So there's been a lot of I guess different versions in the live band, but it's all your music, right? It's like you're kind of the main person at making the songs.
I'm a dictator. You know, John Cage didn't like that kind of stuff. He didn't like Glenn Branca because he was like a fascist dictator. And that's what I am with Old Table.
I think I've heard some people.
But it's a more joyous thing to collaborate. I encourage people to collaborate. Yeah. I'm in a band now where I collaborate. It's called Castrated Caligula.
Oh yeah, I think
with
I saw
my friend Argyle.
It's pretty cool. I've seen some band practices going on the internet. That's pretty cool. There, I've seen some other things there. You got Climax Landers, you got Time Stalkers, and you got Castrated Caligula. And one time I saw Climax Landers in Brooklyn, New York, and I myself, as well as everyone there, was fairly reluctant to spit bars, and I just want to say that I realized I missed out on a prime opportunity. Delaware Dan, not good with the kind of iambic pentameter type stuff, but definitely can spit some kind of advertisement things if it's pre-written. So I wrote a couple things. I don't have them right now, but next time that there's a chance to be spitting bars on a Climax Landers, I'll make sure to.
All you need is confidence to spit bars.
That's what I was about to say. What advice? Do you have any more advice on any listeners that might be reluctant themselves on spitting bars and what they could do to kind of overcome these?
Well, it's a fraught concept. Let's face it. We have to decolonize ourselves from whiteness. So it has to come from a genuine place, like totally single-minded, absurdist place. And you might pull something beautiful off. Because it's better if it rhymes, right?
Yeah.
I understand. No, but people should be apprehensive to spit bars maybe sometimes in some of these shows. But other times, fuck it.
Hell yeah.
The time is right.
When
Step up there and you only get one shot.
When the spirit speaks, it speaks through you.
Mom spaghetti kind of stuff.
There you go. I like that. I like that decolonizing kind of stuff. I've been thinking about this. Delaware Dan officially declared anywhere within a 30-foot radius of Delaware Dan, no matter where he is wherever I am in the world, because I am Delaware Dan. It kind of is an automatic Delaware autonomous zone, and it's got kind of dicey because some people are like, all right, I stand in it within 30 feet and I can incorporate to evade certain taxes. And I want to tell people, it's not necessarily about the line that's being drawn. It's all kind of it's basically that these borders are kind of made up. They're just kind of just bullshit, and this is just a way to kind of sell ideas to people that can detect some of these themes sometimes listening to your music. And there's like kind of a unifying principle going on. I just want to say I really appreciate that. It's pretty good.
I think you must have had a storm blowing over, and I was in the midst of that Delaware Dan fog when I thought of that stuff to send it right back to you. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're ever driving down 95 and you're going between Philadelphia, Baltimore, and New Jersey, stuff like that, you're probably in Delaware. So it probably could, it might have been hovering over the vehicles or UFOs or something. I don't know. It could be anything. That's the kind of the magic of the whole thing.
First state.
It's the first state. I'm still.
And before I met you, Delaware Dan, I used to say, "What have you done for me lately, Delaware?" And then Delaware Dan came into my life, and I was like, "Thank you for answering my question."
I would say,
finally,
I would say that maybe Delaware Dan could be a gift from Delaware, but I think it's not necessarily the other way around either. So maybe they're not mutually exclusive. But I do what I can. Delaware's got a kind of weird rap because it is a no place, just like any place. So it's kind of one of those things. It's kind of weird, It's kind of a mind-boggling, I don't know, like what the fuck he's talking about kind of thing going on, and it's pretty cool.
I like that Aubrey Plaza though.
She's pretty cool. I heard rumors.
She's from Delaware.
She's from Delaware. She went to the same school that the drummer in Gold Dime went to, but I don't think they knew each other.
They were lucky drummer.
She's pretty good.
That's my guilty pleasure. Some certain celebrity crushes, I want to check out Old Table more than others, like Marion Cotillard. Actually emailed me the other day.
How about that?
And it was crazy.
Does your family suffer from get-rich-quick schemes that help pay back debts accrued during marketing telethons where the host of a top-rated local talk show was uncovered to be an alien conspirator dipping a multitude of tips in the beef wax dip that slathered the slurry in a furious flurry of furry fuckers all slapping each other up with natural oils? No problem. Call Delaware Dan for your free sample test kits of Jello Biafra's Royal Jelly-based Laurel Oil, a regal slip and slide for your foreskin. Call Delaware Dan for this exact problem. 302. You know the rest. I don't need to say it because you got memorized at this point. It's the point of me telling you that. Alright.
She kind of emailed me. She sort of spells in the same way that her accent is. And she was like, Neil, I wanted to tell you, I love your new album, Coffee Colored Eyes, that came out last year.
That's awesome.
I thought that I was the only one who listened to it. And then I found someone else online who also checked out Old Table, so thank you.
That's so good. You know, she was really
And
good in that movie.
I was happy to get that email from Marion because I hadn't talked to her in a while, so that was cool.
That's good to reconnect and, you know, kind of catch up on stuff. You know, I think, my guess, I think maybe, I don't know if she told you what her favorite song on that was. For me, it's Town Meeting because it's kind of the culmination, and, you know, it's pretty cool sounding. It's got the bass, and, you know, it's nice because I like hearing the songs without the band and stuff, but then once it kind of all comes together, it's pretty cool, you know? It's pretty good.
We recorded that one like 3 years ago or something, and we had it on the back burner, and I was like, man, I hope that this song isn't too, like, naive and childlike. People are going to laugh at me for loving Ralph Nader this much if I put this out, so I was scared. But then I finally just threw it out on the Coffee Colored Eyes album. The cover I did in like 3 seconds and put it out. Because sometimes you want to hide that stuff.
You know, I knew
like,
this.
but it's okay. You know, I don't know.
Sometimes you just gotta let it, do its thing.
Songs with a message are who wants to write them, because you have to be like either very naive or very knowledgeable or something. But I say just let them go.
There you go.
Let them out.
That sounds pretty good. Well, it worked well on that song, and you know I definitely recommend that. You know, a couple of the albums that I was guest advertiser for. You know, something in my mind just said, you know, maybe just mention and check out Old Table, because I heard that there's this band there's like 5 brothers, and they're going around and they got this cover band called Check Out Old Table, and maybe that, you know, would you recommend people to check out Old Table, or do you think they should just kind of cut out the middle people? You know, is there 5
Are
of
you
them?
talking about knowing into somebodies now? Because I'm a somebody. I am a somebody.
That makes sense. You seem like
I can prove it.
Well, maybe
I got a tattoo.
There you go. Well, you know, I can't show my listeners because it's audio only, but just take our word for it. There's the tattoo there. I'm sure I've seen it. The no-ats, or is it all the way spelled out? Is it no one into somebody's? Is it someone? No, somebody.
It's an old sailor design, you know?
How about that?
I got it way back in Nam, or no, you know, I got it way back.
There you go.
Buddy of mine, you know, he found it in a treasure chest in the cavern.
How about that?
I had to get the golden key before I got there, and you know, so I went down to Baltimore. Went down Baltimore, put my vehicle down Baltimore, and picked the golden key up.
Well, there you go. Silver key's not going to work on that. You got to do golden key, because it's, you know, that's the.
Yeah.
You know, there's this moment on, I forget which one it is. It's one of the Climax Landers CDs, and there's like this poem that's like playing like Final Fantasy or Zelda or something, but like it's like real stuff happening in it. And I was like, that's pretty good. I might have to play that for the listeners to kind of check out. You know, well, what would you recommend for someone to check out Old Table? What do you have? What's the starting point? Where do we, you know, I mean, maybe to check out Old Table.
I think maybe you were talking about Azure Dreams.
That's the one. That's the one right there. Yeah. It's pretty good. I really enjoyed that one.
You could check out Azure Dreams. Type it in, Azure Dreams PlayStation 1 review into YouTube. Check out that game. It's pretty interesting. It's a dating sim / roguelike dungeon crawler modeled after the Tornico series. That merchant guy from Dragon Quest IV, when they started making games with him in it. But what was I saying? Which is a, let's see, good one to check out first. I don't know. I appreciate that though. I would say, well, I always liked coloring. I always thought that was one of my favorite ones. I listened to that recently, actually, and I thought it still held up pretty well.
That's 2011.
So,
that's that one.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right, that's got.
I like long albums, like the White Album or Trout Mask Replica. I like those long albums. So
A lot of them Mothers of Invention, they got long, like, there's like 20, like, songs that are about 2 minutes each. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, is that that's like the one with the earlier one?
Yeah, that shit, I forget what it's called, but it's pretty good. It's real crazy.
The cover's blue and black with them on there.
I think so. I got it on my phone, and they done got the art on it. Go figure. These phones, they're all technologically advanced and stuff. Oh, now that I think about it, I accidentally stole a tape from a former roommate that was, it was old Cradle. It had Cradle on one side, and it had old table on the other side, and it was pretty good. You kind of get two dot, and then I think I saw the two of yous playing in the band Climax Landers. So how related is Climax Landers to Old Table? Is that more collaborative? You got more ideas coming from other people in that one, or how's that one work?
Yeah, I think we had a lineup, and then we decided we're committed to this lineup, so why don't we name it something else? And that's where that came out of. I also had like some other folks who I was playing with for years, like up in my folks' house in Westchester. So I split up the band. They were like, check out Old Table, and then the Brooklyn band was called Climax Landers at that point.
Now, how about that? That's pretty cool.
So it's a blessing, I try to keep it in mind and try not to take it for granted. Making music is a really blessing, a blessed experience. And it's the best thing that a person can do, collaborate on music. It's so good for the soul,
Definitely.
And after this year, that's kind of come into more focus for a lot of people, I think. And really just appreciating when that happens and respecting it and respecting everyone in the space and trying to make everyone feel a part of that collaborative process, because the best music is collaborative.
Yeah, I dig that a lot. That definitely makes a lot of sense. And, definitely with this pandemic and everyone taking time off from playing shows and touring, definitely, you kind of, there's a new appreciation, kind of, not just because we haven't had it, but there's been plenty of time to reflect on it. I've seen a couple of these, I've even done it myself, a couple of these online shows. I've done my own just kind of for fun, but it don't beat just like being there and you being in the same room and everyone's just laughing and stuff. Now I'm going to have a whole new thing. I quit cigarettes, so I'm not going to be able to smoke at them, and it's been pretty good, pretty easy to think about not smoking, and just by not thinking about not smoking at all. But for me, it's like just being around people that do smoke, and it's like, I don't care, they can smoke. I'm getting off topic, but yeah, basically the shows are going to be, I think the shows are going to be really, really good. I'm pretty excited. This is going to be a whole new paradigm with this, I think. I think it now, I'm just excited about it. I don't even know. I don't want to put too much of an expectation on the future, but it's going to be great.
It sounds like it was good that they shook you out of being in the habit of smoking around people.
Yeah,
because, like, it is tough sometimes on your lungs, man.
Oh yeah. I
smoking
couldn't breathe. I have asthma. I should have never started smoking in the first damn place, but then because of marketing and subliminal marketing and me marketing to myself, damn, Yeah, that shit got kind of crazy there for a minute, but I broke out of it. You know, I did some reverse spells and all this shit. Isuna, Kiraja, all this shit. Cure 3. So we're good. Good on that now.
Come to think of it, I wouldn't put it past Philip Morris to be behind some of these DIY venues.
Yeah, I think the money...
causing more people to smoke all the time.
You follow the money.
I didn't start smoking until I was like 23 or something.
That's how old I was, yeah.
Like, I was way stupid. You know what I mean? Like, only stupid people start then. But anyways...
most people start when they're like 9, and then that's like normal. They're like, I've been smoking since I was 12. It's fine. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
And they end up being the ones living till like 90 and shit. And I'm like, how the fuck does that? So I definitely notice in Old Table and Climax Landers and all that there's a lot of old Super Nintendo or maybe even Nintendo era, maybe even imported, RPGs, games that we didn't even get in the States. Do you have like a collection going on or something there? It seems like you're pretty knowledgeable.
Well, I find it inspiring to write about that stuff sometimes because it's very connected to nostalgia and like looking back, and I love it now still. It's like a joy, and it's part of that privilege to be able to write songs and be comfortable positioned to perform them regularly. I definitely recognize that as a class privilege, and I try to be conscious of trying to put that stuff into a different context to augment the message a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
And yeah, I do. I got most of that stuff is on my ROM on my computer now, but I don't know if you should let that out though. You might want to beep that out. Anyway.
The deep state's
well,
listening.
Yeah, you can get a lot of that stuff for free now, which you should be, because I only really care about the 90s stuff for the most part. Maybe some of the new Nintendo stuff that comes, like the new Zelda, not the Hyrule Warrior shit, but like the real new Zelda.
Yeah, for the wind.
I really wanted to make a Zelda 2 remake, like the Adventure of Link, where it's like
cool.
side-scroller.
That'd be cool.
Like a Metroidvania kind of style of Zelda, but then there's also an overworld and shit.
That would be cool. I remember there was a Ninja Turtles game kind of like that, where you're going around and you go into sewers, and then you ever see that one where there's side scrolling?
Oh, like with the top-down view?
Yeah, it's like top-down, and then you go into sewers, and then you're on the side. That's not the arcade one.
Oh yeah, that's the first one for regular Nintendo.
That one, I remember that one. I think my grandma still has it. She don't play it, so I'm like, yeah, like grandma, like give it up, like give up the Nintendo Entertainment System. Come on, maybe she put it in a will or something. I don't know. I'm not telling her what to do.
Your grandma played it?
No, she's holding on to it because for something for us kids to do when we go into town or when we go visit her at the beach. And, she's got Nintendo. She got Mario 3, Mario 2. I think she got Mario 1/Duck Hunt, on there. That one's pretty good.
Oh.
Classic.
I know it well.
No problem. There's no problem with Delaware Dan.
Every once in a while I get one of these ladies, they got a real nice picture, and they got a lot of hashtags, and they had a lot of hashtag ads, hashtag advertisements.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, I must be onto something, because these strange people are following me on Instagram. These ladies with the hashtags and the nice lighting in the photos.
They never seem to be following any of my friends.
What?
They never seem to be following any of my friends. I got no mutual friends with them on Instagram, but they're following me, and then they all, some of them are just straight up the same pictures, and I'm like, how does this even work? So, but maybe they're cross-promoting. Maybe they're doing viral marketing. Oh, you ever have a video go viral? Has that ever happened for you yet? I think it has.
I had one video. My one video that went viral was called Bob Dylan's Big Punch. And it's from the movie Hearts of Fire with Bob Dylan. And he's like punching someone in a really weird way, like with his back all hunched over, and his head is like hanging. He's like and he punches someone, like he just swings his arm.
What's
like,
the movie called again?
Like level. What?
What's the movie called again?
It's called Hearts of Fire with Fiona. Like there was a share or a like a single word female whatever like lady named Fiona in the 80s apparently, and like
I remember this.
A movie. It's like one of them. It's really really bad.
It's like a post-apocalyptic kind of movie. Dude, I think I saw
I
your
guess
clip.
with the benefit of hindsight now, yeah, it seems like that.
That's awesome. That's cool. We got anything coming
That was
up?
that's got like a couple thousand, 3 whatever on YouTube. That was pretty much the most viral content I ever did.
That's
There was a buddy of mine named Sebastian. He had a tweet that went viral, and it was something like, when Jesus was in Persephone and he was viewing all the sins of mankind one by one for eternity. I wonder if you saw that guy whacking it to Waluigi or hentai. Or no, blasting ropes to Waluigi hentai. Yeah, I fucked it up. Anyways.
Well, then now you got Elon and Grimes and all that on doing SNL, which is just kind of, I didn't watch it, but just the idea is funny, but I don't want to actually see that. But I don't know if anyone's blowing ropes to that. It sounds kind of, perverted. That's funny as shit, dude. That's fucking.
Waluigi has a grip on people's, some level of people's conscious mind. Put the ladies in charge.
There you go.
That's what I feel.
How long has this shit gone on? You know what I'm saying?
Let's get the ladies to solve this shit.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. A lot of them are handling shit, and some of them
Maybe
are like,
all the single ladies even.
There you go.
Over there. They could
the
round them up at least. Or not round them up. They could round themselves up.
Right, they're gonna rally.
They let them round themselves up for once.
They're gonna rally around the colonialist family with a pocket full of shells, but in a real way, not in a way that's gonna sell Ram T-shirts or whatever. Radom T-shirts, Rage Against the Machine T-shirt. We're not promoting no Rage Against the Machine. Tom Morello. When I was a kid, I used to think he was a good guitarist. And I was like, the good thing he did was get the delay pedal and the whammy pedal. And once I took the whammy pedal and delay pedal and started plugging things other than a guitar into it, I was like, oh yeah, dude. And then I met Paco years later, and I was like, hell yeah, dude. That's pretty cool.
And then you were like,
we are the robot. We are dancing. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You got. See, I noticed there's.
Then you like plugged in your guitar and you're like,
DJ. Hell yeah.
You're like, wicked, wicked, wild, wild, wet. Booty in the blowfish.
Yeah. Chickadee China, the Chinese chickadee China, the Chinese chickadee China, the Chinese chickadee.
Like, China, Chinese chicken.
China, the Chinese chickadee China, chickadee China.
Boom and a baby. They make me think the wrong thing.
And then something about Sailor Moon, cartoon, go boom, something like that. Next time we're spitting bars at a concert, at a live basement concert.
Yeah, get up there
I'm
and
do that
or something.
Here we go. That would be my intro, and then that'll just go off. It kind of just going off.
Start out with some bare naked ladies, get it totally wrong, and take it from there.
There you go.
What's the problem?
Exactly. So
what could go wrong?
right, time for another episode of Illegal Crimes. All right, so this segment's been a pretty big hit, and you know, it's pretty good. So we're doing illegal crimes. You know, there's you know, what's considered acceptable by law is you know, a lot of people think is up to interpretation, but unfortunately for you people that think that, I'm saying to you right now, you know, taking land from people and killing them is pretty fucked up, and this isn't a joke. This is you know, a real thing. So a couple of legal crimes: forcible transfers, forced evictions, and demolitions. This is from amnesty.org/English. Israel demolished 848 Palestinian residential and livelihood structures in the occupied West Bank, including East Jerusalem, displacing 996 people, according to the UN Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, aka OCHA. Israeli authorities said that many of the demolished buildings lacked Israeli-issued permits. So, okay, here we go. This with the permit shit. You know, I'm Delaware Dan. I do a lot of law using law lingo to try to manipulate people. And basically, at the end of the day, these people were living there and you kicked them out. Now, this has nothing to do with whether or not what religion these people are, because you talk to most of these people and, you know, it's kind of just, it's been a bunch of people living in the same zone. They all different religions, and they have been for... Does your family suffer from vacation being canceled because the mood was ruined by the mask mandate being too scary, and the guy from the second Scream movie was seen wiping the gel from his hair that had trickled down into his butt crack with the original Declaration of Independence that had been stolen by the makers of the film National Treasure that had the Nick Cage on him? No problem. Call Delaware Dan. A long time, but, you know, you got this thing now called settler colonialism, which is another illegal crime, according to Delaware Dan and many other people. So, you know, alright, so there we go. Unlawful killings and excessive use of force, also illegal crimes under international law. Israeli military police use the necessary and excessive force during law enforcement activities, including search and arrest operations when policing demonstrations. So, you know, I guess, here we go. Back in... well, let's break it down. Back in '48, they did this thing where they wanted to give the, you know, Zionists were thinking, hey, let's go ahead and make a nation. Well, I'm gonna interrupt this real quick, and you know, why have me tell you about it when you could have, you know, other people talk about it that are maybe a little bit more qualified, knowledgeable. All I know is that, at the end of the day, displacing indigenous people seems to be a trend of the last 200, 300, 400 years. And, you know, some of the newer countries definitely guilty of this. And instead of working together, collaborating, and giving everyone equal rights, they take them away because they think they're better than everyone, no matter who they are or what they say they think they are, and you know, how to manipulate the image to talk about it. So here we go. To talk more about it, we're going to play a little bit of a clip from the Abby Martin episode of Office Hours Live. I hope it's okay. Not making any money off of this podcast, so don't worry. There's nothing illegal. There's no more additional illegal crimes as far as parody and copyright law, so all that. So.
Be better. I'm trying to get laughs, but I'm also trying to do better. Cancel me if you want.
Can I ask a
Cancel
question?
me.
Like,
But I want to ask a question.
Oh, okay.
Let me start off with what I think is a very dumb, or maybe a simple-minded question that I always have, and I haven't really seen a good answer for.
I'm a fucking bona fide moron.
So you have, when you let's talk geography.
Mm-hmm.
You have the state of Israel, the country of Israel, and you have it's a little chunk of land on the coast of the the Mediterranean.
Mediterranean.
And then you've got this little strip of Gaza.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's the West Bank over here.
Yeah.
So Israel itself kind of runs into this. So I always look at that and go, well, what does a two-state solution look like when these two things are not actually geographically connected?
Really a great point. And then you have Jerusalem over here, which is supposed to be this shared
And
city.
Jerusalem geographically is in the West Bank? Is connected to the West Bank? Is it completely different
No, it's
area?
inside. Yeah, no, it's
in the middle of the state of Israel. Okay, so what does anybody have a vision for what that looks like that seems reasonable to you? Or even unreasonable to you?
Well, you know, the two-state, one-state thing is, I think that Palestinians have put forward that they are willing to negotiate whatever that looks like, because they've talked about withdrawing settlements out of that West Bank area to the 1967 borders, and there's a lot of debate about what that state would look like. But I agree with you, Tim. It seems impossible when you look geographically at where the land has been taken over, because the West Bank has been taken over by settlements, and so you literally have to go from like crossing checkpoints and settlements to get from one place to the other. But
Right.
I think there's some things that are non-negotiable, which is equality and democracy and human rights, and like
Right.
the two-state, one-state thing could be, that's up to the Palestinians ultimately. But geographically, it doesn't make sense to me, especially having been in the West Bank and seeing how atomized like the land has become because of Israel's just flagrant violations of international law.
And then I thought, well, can't it just be a one state?
Mhm.
And
Right.
they're just treated like regular citizens. And
There you go.
They have property rights and they have voting rights and they have all
Mhm.
these things that you'd expect to have as a functioning member of a society.
Exactly. That's what
that
I
would be
feel
the
should
real
happen.
dream.
That's the dream.
And is there a movement in Jewish Israeli, the Israeli politics? I remember seeing that there was an effort to include Palestinian Arabs in the government,
Mhm.
and there was some move towards that, and then that got kind of killed by Netanyahu, or through this latest little mini war.
Yeah, so there are Palestinian Israeli citizens that live within Israel, and there are some kind of token seats in the Knesset where Arabs hold seats. But that is, looking at the broad view of things, there are 5 million Palestinians that are denied like basic human rights, because you have 3 million people in the West Bank that are living under a brutal military occupation, and then 2 million people in Gaza that are just warehoused in this open air prison. So yeah, I mean, the one state would be lifting apartheid, lifting the military occupation, and lifting the siege, and granting everyone equality and human rights, but that would fly in the face of what Zionism is. So of course, I think there are Israelis who are anti-Zionist, but it's hard. Like I said, like imagine living in America where 80% of people are like Trump supporters. It's a hard society to live and actually oppose what's going on, because the mainstream current is so against you. So a lot of people flee. I know a lot of anti-Zionist Israelis who have fled, and they are working from outside to try to build that pressure. And that's why people say BDS, because there's not enough people within Israel to rein back that kind of fascistic current. But yeah, I mean, to say that there should be one state and equal rights means that you would actually oppose the fundamental premise of what Zionism is, which is an artificial Jewish majority based on ethnic cleansing.
And it's also a religious, it is a divine creed, is a divine command that this is our land based upon the
Ancient
concept of
biblical text, yes.
Which I think most of our reasonable listeners might say seems a little strange.
It is a strange thing, yeah.
So, but how do we separate anti-Zionism or sort of feeling like this is part of the problem, why there's this conflict, is the hardcore Zionism with anti-Semitism? Because now there's this pushback saying,
of course.
I don't think anybody in my audience, myself included, I don't know about Vic, I know he's into some weird shit, but we have no issues with the Jewish people and the ability to worship freely and practice your culture and practice your religion. So how do we separate those two things and, do that without encouraging more trouble?
Of course, and just to bring it back to someone who is Israeli, his grandfather, my friend Miko Peled. He is a anti-Zionist Israeli who I just interviewed for Empire Files. People can check it out on our channel, on our podcast actually. But he is a very prominent figure in Israeli society. His grandfather was actually one of the founders of Israel. He's on the Declaration of Independence for Israel. He is very his niece was killed in a suicide bombing, but instead of that driving his hatred toward Palestinians, it drove him to actually understand the Palestinian plight and want to fight for peace. Anyway, what he said about anti-Semitism, I think, is really on point. He said anti-Semitism belongs in the same category as Zionism, as white supremacism, because all of those ideologies are based on actual hatred and oppression of a
Oppression of other
marginalized group.
Right.
And he said that they're all bad.
Right.
Of course, anti-Semitism needs to be condemned, but I think if there's a rise of anti-Semitism, it's due to the rise in right-wing extremism.
Right.
You know, I mean, Trumpism is
blowback
on the rise. We saw Charlottesville, and we see. You know, I don't know if you guys saw that video of that settler who was just taking over the home, and he was just like,
Yeah.
"If I don't do it, someone else
Yes,
will."
yes.
That guy is a crazy fucking Trump supporter. Someone found his Facebook page. He has like stamps of Trump stamps on his forehead. Like,
Jesus.
Yeah, he's insane.
So let's also.
And he's getting paid to go and occupy people's homes and kick them out. He is literally getting paid.
Right. So
to do that.
there's a financial incentive for a lot of this behavior
Yeah.
coming from the government.
Yes.
They're pushing people into these areas, pushing people out. This is
Mhm.
not. So this is design. In some ways, this is design. Now we also can admit that there is plenty of people in that region that are truly anti-Semitic, do want to see Israel dismantled, or the
the
Jewish,
anti-Semitism is a very real problem.
and that exists within Islamic states around their region. So there is hostility there that's real.
Yeah.
That is based in perhaps not only just ideology, but the fact that these people came in and threw a bunch of people out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's more about settler colonialism. This is something that's widely understood as wrong. You know, looking back at and reflecting at how the U.S. was founded in a similar way, people can understand that that was wrong.
Right.
But it's just bizarre to just look at a country that's openly...
It's happening in real time.
Yeah, happening in real time, day to day, and that, it's a weaponized concept, and this is something that Miko said as well. They weaponize a very real and growing threat, which is anti-Semitism, and use it to deflect criticism of a state committing war crimes. And that is something that's offensive to people like us. I mean, we're progressives, we're liberals, and I am very offended to be called a racist and a bigot for
Right.
simply opposing,
there's no
ethnic
nuance.
cleansing. There's zero nuance at all. And you look at something like East Jerusalem right now, which is where that settler was like, if I don't take this house, someone else will. I need to take it over. There's something called a demographic law in place that requires 70% Jewish population, 30% Arab population to be maintained. And just wrap your mind around what that means.
Right.
It means that
It's
you
just-
need
yeah.
to continue to expel people in order to have this artificial religious
Right.
majority of Jewish citizens. So it's...
So there you go. I'm not going to play too much more of it. You want to hear the rest of it, you got to watch the episode. I highly recommend this podcast called Office Hours Live. It's been going a few years now, several years actually, in fact. It's pretty good. Talk more about it. They released a blend of coffee that we're going to be reviewing that's kind of unrelated to this topic. So I'm going to go back and jump back into illegal crimes. It's all part of illegal crimes. And here's the thing. The moment you think that you're bigger than nature and you're bigger than, anyone, regardless of what happened, I know, the people of the Jewish faith suffered insanely a huge amount of suffering due to the Nazis and all that bullshit. And, all right. But that's a separate issue because you're basically doing what Nazis did to these people. And it doesn't matter what religion you are. If you think you're better than them and you're kicking them out, it's an illegal crime.
And that's been illegal crimes.
All right. So, that's not good. We don't want that kind of stuff going on. So don't do it. Sing on. Okay. Thanks for another great episode, Delaware Dan. We're gonna try to do this every month. Check back in 4 weeks for episode 6. Gonna have a couple more segments on there. Should be pretty good. Hopefully we get Nels Bummer himself on the line. If not, then his legal representation, Delaware Ambry. Shout out Old Table, Will Maloney, Paco Cathcart, Charles, all the brothers Yanku, and all the Delaware folks. Right now you're listening to Yo. I think it's pronounced Yo. It's Tashi Dorji and
a couple other dudes. Really amazing crew. That I hope I get to meet them someday. But they've been getting me through this pandemic and reminding all of us of what's really important, especially as artists and people who are allies to people who support the cause of indigenous, giving the land back and all that. So it's pretty good, and it's some pretty good music too. So I need to do better. I'm always trying to do better. We all are. I don't do enough, I think, but I could always do better, and so could you. And I just want to encourage you to donate to mutual aids, different mutual aid projects and stuff like that. It's pretty good. So shout out Tom Goyen, Jessica Ackerley, great guitarist up there in New York. All the New York homies, all the Baltimore homies, Ben Starkey, Javiera, Zachy, Tedson, and you heard on the last season, episode. There's no seasons. It's all one season, baby. It's Delaware Dan. Shout out, much love and thanks to Tim Heidecker and the Office Hours Live crew. Big fan. Check them out. Check out Tabs Out and the Delaware crew, previously aforementioned Delaware crew, Mike Haley, Joseph Brittenbach, Dave Doyen, Jamie Orlando, big supporter of the Delaware Dan Street Legal Initiative. Shout out Steph Parrish, who is doing a podcast. You can hear Delaware Dan on her podcast, which I forget the name of it, so that's not helpful. But we'll probably just get her on the show next week and promote her through that. In the meantime, you can check out Field Drum and Bass on Bandcamp. She goes by that, Mixed Drum and Bass. You might be able to find some stuff out through that. So Steph Parrish, thank you for all your support, all you people out there throwing the good word of righteousness and fake capitalism, and hopefully it cancels the real capitalism out. I don't know. I do envision a more compassionate, a world in balance, kind of like Hironobu Sakaguchi. He's saying it's all about balance. So do the balancing act, and sometimes the pendulum's got to swing. So, anyways, I love you guys. Delaware Dan. You're listening to Exist Among Wolves by Yo. It's out on American Decline Records, based out of Chicago. It's pretty good. And it's like the heavy arm branch of American Dreams. So it's pretty good. Which I think they do like jazz and experimental stuff too. So I don't really listen to black metal, but I'd listen to this black metal. This is good. Listen to this. Makes me want to change the world for the better. So that's not a joke. I know Delaware Dan can be sarcastic sometimes. That's not sarcasm. That's some real shit right there. Listen. Because honestly, I think a lot of black metal out there is pretty fucking stupid. But this is some good shit. I like this. Tashi Dorji is also just a great guitarist in general. You should check him out. He's got tons of stuff. Go Tashi Dorji on Bing Bing, wherever you do. Go Google him or whatever, or go to your local record store and see if they'll order, from distributors that are going to sell, maybe some Tashi Dorji tapes, records, stuff like that. I would say check out on Spotify, but that kind of goes without saying, and I'm not trying to directly support them per se. So, anyways, listen to this.